Good morning, everyone. People are joining, and we will start within 2 minutes. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible now.
A very wonderful and lovely morning to our respected Principal Ma'am, esteemed speaker, learned teachers, dear friends, and everyone gathered here. I, Asna Khan, on behalf of Nargis, welcome you all to the lecture on waste management titled Waste, a Valuable Resource on the inaugural of Nargis, the Botanical Society of Zakir Hussain Delhi College for the session 2021 to 2022. A rising quality of life and high rates of resource consumption patterns have had an unintended and negative impact on the environment, generating waste far beyond the handling capacities. Today, we are struggling with the problem of high volumes of waste, the cost involved, the disposal technologies and methodologies, and the impact of waste on the local and global environment. However, our slightest of concern and initiatives for environmental awareness can help us rise to the occasion and make things effective. There is a need for a smart handling and a complete rethinking of waste to analyze if waste is indeed a waste, a rethinking that calls for waste to become wealth, refuse to become resource, trash to become cash. I sincerely hope that today everyone would reap maximum benefits out of this lecture by informing themselves about the waste management, one of the burning issues of our times that our Mother Earth is grappling with, and what we as the young generation of today can do to curb this escalating issue. Without any further delay, I would like to call upon Preeti Matpal to introduce the Nargis.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. A very good afternoon. A very good morning to all of you present over here. The Botanical Society of Zakir Hussain Delhi College, Nargis, is a team of enthusiastic members working towards building a more sustainable community. Our Botanical Fest is held annually on inter-college level to provide a platform for students to showcase one's unique talents, allowing holistic development of their personality, providing a break from the monotonous routine of evaluation and academics. Several inter-college competitions such as leaf art, rangoli from waste, treasure hunt, and botanical crossword were organized in the fest. The Botanical Society has been organizing an inter-college rolling shield environment quiz competition every year to promote awareness on various environmental issues among students. This year, the society also started the campaign with the slogan "Say no to plastic, use cloth bag." Now, I invite Dr. Deepika Sharma ma'am, Vice President of Nargis, to introduce all the office bearers for the session 2021 to 22.
Thank you, Preeti. A very good morning to all dear students and faculty members. It's a pleasure for me to introduce the office bearers and volunteers of Nargis for the academic session 2021 to 22. Can I have the slides, please?
Yes, ma'am, just a minute.
So we have Dr. Babita Sikola as the president of our society. Then myself as a vice president. We have from students, we have Ms. Shrota Satpathy as a secretary of Nargis, Mr. B.G. Matthew as a joint secretary, Ms. Preeti Matpal is the treasurer of Nargis. We have Ms. Mritika Datta as the editor. Next slide, please. Slide, please. Okay, we have student volunteers of Nargis from second year. We have Mohammad Asrar as graphic designer of Nargis. We have social media managers, Miss Asna Khan and Mr. Abrez Israel. Miss Ritu Dhillon from second year is also a volunteer for Nargis. We have content creators, Miss Pragati Shakya and Miss Khushi Pandey. Next slide, please. Um I'm very happy to announce that we received a very enthusiastic response from our first year batch, and 9 students from first year have expressed their interest to become a part of Nargis. We have inducted them in our team as volunteers. From first year, we have Miss Lavanya Sharma, Miss Hansa Mohsin. Next slide, please. Amita Gupta, Miss Janvi Singh, Mr. Ansar Shafi Maglu, Miss Fatimi N, and Mr. Nakul Shaukin as volunteers. Now I invite Ms. Mritika to present the results of a survey that we had conducted before the webinar to determine the awareness of people about waste management. Over to you, Mritika.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're
Good
audible.
morning, everyone. It brings me immense pleasure to share the overwhelming responses of over 150 people for the survey we conducted in the last 1 week on awareness about waste management. The sheer number of responses are not only from our college and others under Delhi University like Daulat Ram, Swami Shraddhanand, Dayal Singh, and even Cluster Innovation Center, but also from renowned institutions like CSIR, Indraprastha University, TERI, Jamia Millia Islamia, Indraprastha Dental College, and Gitanjali Medical College. This gives us the confidence that our survey represents a complete picture about awareness on the topic. I would like to bring your attention to the fact that it is not the dearth of information and knowledge or awareness, but the lack of action acting as a hurdle towards a cleaner, greener, less polluted environment. Let's see the responses then. Over 76% of people understand the impact waste has on the environment and human health. And it is really appreciable that our audience practices waste management. That is 90% of them. So now the question stands, is it effective enough? And if it is, then what is even stopping us from achieving sustainability and zero waste goals? Segregation at the source is the key to waste management. And it is optimistic to see that 70% of them segregate their dry and wet waste at home, and over 90% are disposing the waste responsibly to either local bodies or collection containers at regular intervals, be it daily, weekly, or even once a month. There are responses, though disheartening, about the lack of a proper system of waste collection. Most of the responders are aware about the 5 Rs of waste management and are disposing of their e-waste appropriately, according to the country guidelines or by exchanging the old gadgets. E-waste has probably the most negative impact on the biosphere out of all the waste out there due to the release of toxic chemicals. Almost 50% are composting the organic waste at home, while the remaining are giving it to the collection system with or without segregation. Majority are dissatisfied with the current waste management condition of the country and think it can be improved by spreading awareness using better management techniques and policies by the government. Almost 70% consider anything to be waste if it cannot be reused by the principles of 5R and if no longer wanted. With this survey, the survey data ends now here and brings us to beginning of the most awaited inaugural lecture by the honorable speaker addressing the eager audience about the effective waste management practices and strategies and much more. I would like to bring another announcement on behalf of the society regarding the initiation of theme-based activities and endeavors by Nargis, our Botanical Society. Our social media team and otherwise, volunteers and members will be actively doing their bit towards the goal. The upcoming month of December, we will all do our best to aim for zero waste living and bring about, at the minimum, one change that will make at least a beginning in this direction at our end. It can be as simple as refusing single use plastic bags or upcycling a broken mug to a planter. We have to be responsible and accountable for every single decision and action. It will address the destructive impact of climate change by creating a circular economy that are truly our most sensible and sustainable options during this imminent crisis. Without lingering any further, I would like to call upon the President of the Society, Dr. Babita Ma'am, to introduce today's speaker to everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mritika. Very good morning to our principal ma'am, Dr. Sangeeta Pandit, our speaker of the day, Dr. Rita Khosla, my dear colleagues, students and participants. Nargis is a forum at the Department of Botany to nurture young minds, to work towards a better tomorrow for our society and the environment. This is no ordinary feat and requires a careful balance of motivation and exposure. Now, in this pursuit of introducing our students to the careful balance of theory and praxis, today we have amongst us Dr. Rita Khosla as our speaker for the inaugural lecture. She's been an author, advisor, consultant in the field of environment, uh, and Dr. Khosla has taught in Zakir Hussain Delhi College for 42 years. Her areas of specialization include environment, genetics, and biotechnology. She's been associated with NGOs like Center for Science and Environment and Chintan, and she's also a member of Indo-American Forum of United Nations Development Program, working on the environment and towards women empowerment. Dr. Khosla was appointed as an advisor during the establishment of museum in Sultanpur National Park in the year 2000, and she was also a core member of the team that was involved in designing Gurugram Biodiversity Park. Now, currently, she is working as a consultant on landscape designing, environment-friendly practices, which includes waste management, especially e-waste disposal, vermicomposting, and for rainwater harvesting. On behalf of the team at Nargis, students, faculty members, I extend a very hearty welcome to you, ma'am. Your years of experience working towards the environmental sciences in various capacities would definitely help us to learn and inspire us and our students, especially our first year students, to put our right foot forward in this year's endeavors, including the beginning of this session. And as Mritika has announced that we will be now doing theme-based activities. So this would be a wonderful beginning for our society's activities. I would request Dr. Khosla to deliver her lecture. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Babita.
Ma'am, I would just request 1 minute to ask our principal, ma'am, if she would like to address now, or she can wait on and listen to your lecture. I'm sure she would love to do that, but she has some engagements. Dr. Sangeeta?
Yeah. Good morning, Babita. You can hear me?
Very good morning. Yeah, we can hear you, but
I'll just speak to you all for 2 minutes, 3 minutes maybe, because then,
yeah.
as you know, there is something lined up. Right? Is it okay?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So I'm really fortunate to be here in this meeting for two special reasons. One is the topic itself. The second is that Dr. Rita is here because she's a very special person. us. We work together, and our concerns for environment is what we share. In our early days of segregation of waste into blue and green, we were together, and we would remember how difficult it was for us to tell people to put blue in blue and green in green. Most of the time, people would put green in blue and blue in green, and see, we would end up frustrated what to do, because it is so tough to change choices, to change habits. But then I think we stuck on, and today, whatever you see on the campus, those bins are in their place. In fact, they have been changed to their places, and people have by and large learned to segregate their waste. And this is so crucial to waste management. Now, I was pretty impressed by your battery of students who you were prepared. They gave a wonderful, scientific footing to the state of waste. They have all gathered the properly. They have asked people to fill forms, and they have gathered very scientific footing of going about waste, how to go, know about the waste. Well, waste, touches us all, because I can see the generation of waste, humongous amounts of waste, because of I would say, consumerism of a hypnotic kind, simply hypnotic. So that leads straight to huge piles of waste generation. And part of the waste is something which we just don't know how to treat it. To be very, very, very frank with you, I have been attending all kinds of seminars and conferences, and we learned at one of the seminars, in fact, it was an intensive course, we learned that, those packets where you have those chips, those kinds of packets which have a multi-layered kind of packaging, those are the ones which we have no technology to recycle. And they're all filling up our bins and piles, and they're into mountains. So that's where I found myself badly struck by this fact, And immediately the first thing I did is, I'm not going to buy my whatever chips or whatever it carries, because that's the least I can do as an individual. Because the state of environment now has come to the state where individuals have to take certain decisions which are favoring all this, And the waste management, perhaps we should take a look at the way nature does it. The closer we are to nature, I think we will be far more enthused, far more impressed by how nature deals with waste. There's nothing called waste when you go to natural systems. You see a forest floor, you have all kinds of detritus. It never gets counted as waste, because it comes back to the whole cycle all over again. So we must rethink our this thing. And the waste management has gone beyond circular economy. It's gone beyond circular economy. People now think of regenerativeness. How can we regenerate what we lost, and so on. So very advanced thinking is going on in waste management, because it is a humongous problem at the moment. I'm sure Dr. Rita will enlighten you further. I'll stay for a while more, because I do want to listen to her. She's done tremendous work in this area. We've seen her tirelessly working in this area for a long, long time. And I'm so glad that she's now a full-fledged consultant with most of them, and she'll continue to do her bit towards environment, because environment does require a lifelong commitment. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day today.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta ma'am. And it was a pleasure listening to you. And I would like to enlighten our first year students, especially because other students and most of us know that she's a hardcore researcher. And under DU Innovation Project, we work together on a project in which we handled waste of the college, that is paper waste. And this unit is still functional. We hold regularly, workshops in which the waste paper of the college is being utilized and useful products are made out of it. So she took a lead in that, and today we are, very fortunate to have this feature in our college. And we are also working simultaneously with Jagriti, who takes our waste paper, and they give us products whatever we wish to have. So you also can, all of you can, think of linking up with various NGOs so that the waste can be usefully and meaningfully maintained. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a pleasure listening to you. Over to us now.
Now I invite Dr. Rita Khosla ma'am to please give the lecture.
So, good morning, Dr. Sangeeta, my dear colleagues and students. It is like homecoming being part of this inaugural function of the society, and lots of congratulations for such a wonderful presentation all the students made. It was really very heartening and much above the way we used to do it that time, 10 years back. So really, I'm really proud of you all and congratulations. And I'm sure all the students will enjoy the Botanical Society, the various functions, especially the fest. So I'm grateful to be part of this activity. And now I will start my presentation. And you people have already said so much. And I was not expecting that much of information. So probably I'll be repeating what you all have said. So I'll start my presentation. So we start with waste, a valuable resource. And I will give the quote by Mother Teresa. She said, I only feel angry when I see waste, when I see people throwing away things we could use. A quote by Mother Teresa. There's an ancient Chinese proverb which defines waste as a resource we have simply not yet learned how to use. So we in this millennium have to learn how to use the waste as a resource. Now, what is a waste? Is an unavoidable byproduct of the most human activity. And it can become a valuable resource. Now, what exactly is a resource? A natural resource is any material that can be transformed by human beings to become useful. Now, there are three types of risks associated with waste: aesthetic, environmental, and health. And we are very familiar with ugly, unhealthy landfills like Ghazipur, Wazirabad, Okhla landfills. So they not only spread diseases like dengue, they are very ugly to see, and they are responsible for groundwater pollution. The awareness about waste and pollutants started when Raquel Carson in 1962 created public awareness about harmful effects of pesticide in her book Silent Spring. There used to be a spring full of birds, and suddenly the birds disappeared and the spring became silent. Which
Yes, ma'am. Now it's
okay. So her book was a landmark in the field of pollution and waste. So, and many laws in America were framed after the authorities read her book. Now, why is DDT and other metals which are lying as waste harmful to us? Because they enter our body due to biological magnification. You can see here in water, there is only 2 ppm of one of the contaminants. When the plankton takes it, it becomes 5, then 200, and then 1600 ppm, it reaches duck. And if we eat the duck in our body, it will be much more. And there has been a research done at IIT Delhi, and they have found that Delhiites, unfortunately, have very high amount of DDT in our bloods. So when your mothers ask you to have milk in the morning, be careful that you're not having a DDT adulterated milk. There are a lot of health hazards due to waste. These days, we are aware that many couples are not having children. They have to go for IVF or other methods or surrogacy. The reason is low sperm count and infertility due to these pesticides and metal pollutants. So they also cause thyroid problem, kidney and liver damage. So many times doctors are not able to understand what is the problem with the patient, because it is not a physical, that kind of a problem. It is a problem because of the environment. Now, who is responsible for waste? The rich societies consume more resources and create more waste than others. An average American, for example, consumes about 50 times more than an average Bangladeshi, or that matter, Indian also, and generates at least 50 times more waste. The high level of consumption by the rich lead to resource depletion and waste accumulation. So there are two ways they are harming the environment. One is they are taking more resources from the environment, and second, they are accumulating waste. Circular economy, some students and Dr. Sangeeta also mentioned, is one step forward for mitigating the problem of waste disposal. Now, which waste can be easily used for getting resources from them? One is domestic waste, which is also known as municipal solid waste, industrial thermal power plant, plastic waste, and e-waste. I want to mention something about thermal power plant. They release fly ash, and this fly ash can cause pollution. But now the government has made schemes where the fly ash is used to make briquette, BRIQUEUE. So the briquettes are like bricks. So instead of using red colored bricks, we use gray colored briquettes for making houses, buildings, and all. So in this, we are using this fly ash, which is a waste, as a resource in the form of briquette. Now, there are green technologies to manage waste, and one of them is reduction of waste. Rag pickers. Every morning, if you go out for a walk, you'll see small boys, probably normally boys, sometimes girls also, picking up trash. And they are our biggest asset for waste management. We cannot ignore their contribution to waste management because their work is tremendous. Every day, millions of people across India earn a living by working in trash. And their work involves waste, collecting waste, segregating. They always separate plastic, paper, metal, and all, cleaning, dismantling, and trading in it. Now, NGOs are creating green jobs. Like Chintan is one of the forerunner in this field. They work with waste pickers and able to successfully recycle a large amount of Delhi NCR waste. Pick My Trash PMT is a joint initiative of Chintan and Delhi's waste pickers. Chintan takes care of the health and hygiene. Their recycling units are creating jobs. Now, I must mention here that Zakir Hussain Delhi College was also closely associated with Chintan. And for 2-3 years, from 2014 onwards, Chintan is to send their vans to pick up the college e-waste. And Chintan is involved with other malls like Select City Mall in Saket or New Delhi Railway Station. They go and they pick up the segregated dry and wet waste, and then they manage how to take care of that. So Chintan is doing a lot of work. Even NGO Center for Science and Environment, they publish the magazine Down to Earth, in which lot of they are giving advocating waste management solutions. And their director Padam Shri Surita Narayan wrote a book, Not in My Backyard. I read the book cover to cover, very interesting book. If you get hold of it or if you have it in your library, you should also read it. And it tells how we city people are throwing our waste in nearby villages, or many people have the habit of throwing waste outside their house. So now the village people are standing against it. They don't want waste in their backyard. So it's a lovely story she has weaved in this book. Now we come to the concept of 3 R's for waste management: reduce, reuse, recycle, which have now become 5 as a basis of waste management hierarchy. Now, as I've said before, it leads to less utilization of raw material and reduces the impact on the environment. B.I. Johnson started the zero waste movement in US, and she says everyone can reduce the waste by keeping the 3 R's in mind: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Now, reduce reminds me that when we were children, or even when I was in college, I had only 3 or 4 dresses. And I'm sure now youngsters have much more bigger wardrobe. So we have to learn to reduce our desires, our needs, and reuse. There's no harm in giving your handouts, your clothes which no longer fit you, to your younger sisters or brother, or to your friends and neighbors. So that this trend used to be there earlier. In fact, our grandparents were more wise and they were practicing reduce and reuse than more than what we do. And Johnson advocates to limit the use of single-use items, like we should not use panni, the single-use plastic bag, or disposable cutlery, and also reduce waste by buying items with minimum packaging. Now, these days, when we order anything from Amazon, it is full of packaging. You'll have cardboard, then you have plastic, bubble sheet, whatnot. So we have to buy environment friendly products. So reduce, reuse, recycle, replenish, and restore. So this was given on April 22nd, Earth Day, as a slogan. And this is a symbol of recycling. Now observe around you. Now, wherever you are sitting in your houses or wherever, just look around. If there's a bottle close to you, or a Coca-Cola can or anything, if you go to kitchen, you'll see this symbol. And when you see the symbol, then this should be segregated. It should not be dumped with other things. So all these things can be recycled. Resource from waste, like aluminium, like when you have aluminium cans, Coca-Cola cans, it can be easily recycled. But if you throw the can with other waste and it is lost in the environment, then you have to dig up, you have to mine the ore again. And that is a very expensive and a polluting process. So like batteries, glass, all these can be recycled or used as a resource. Like in my house, I never let even a 2-inch piece of cardboard go waste in the wet bucket. Any packing comes from the chemist or the chemist bill or electricity or any kind of bill or small paper, just put in the raddi where you keep the newspaper. Don't put in the kitchen where the wet waste is there. So these are small habits which we have to inculcate. Now, did you know a ton of electronic waste can generate up to 12 ounces of gold? Gold is even present in your cell phone and even in your SIM card. So all these can be retrieved. So just don't throw items like that. Your computer contains precious metals. Now, recycling was earlier done by unorganized sector. People in Shalimar Bagh, Pritampura, there were many areas in Delhi which had home recyclers. So they are very dangerous because they use cheap and rudimentary methods for extraction and recycling, which pollutes the environment and it harms their health also. So we have to be very careful to whom we give our waste. So we should go to certified e-waste cyclers. Electronic waste should be given to certified e-waste cycler to avoid pollution. E-waste causes pollution if mixed with household waste and causing problem due to toxic elements like lead, mercury, cadmium, etc. Like if you throw a mercury bulb in your kitchen bin where other wastes are there, the mercury will just leak out. And mercury through food chain and biological magnification can cause you several kind of problem, diseases of the nervous system. So there are many unexplained diseases which have come up in this new age, and they are mainly due to environmental pollution. Now, this is a photograph of my kitchen. This is the dry waste basket where the bottles and Tetra Pak and all are thrown. And the wet waste is separate. And the wet waste I decompose in two bins I have, perforated bins with a tap at the bottom, and in which I put layers of dry leaves, and then I put a few handful of earthworms, and then I keep putting my vegetables and fruits every day in that bin. And the way these earthworms consume and finish off my home garbage, and it is so easy to do, everyone can do it, and I'm sure many of you must be doing it already. Now, waste reduction efforts save natural resources, energy, and money. So everywhere we benefit when we are going for this process of waste management. Now, as we know, plastic waste is a menace. Now, why it is a menace? Because it is non-biodegradable in nature and can remain in the environment for hundreds of years. So that is the biggest problem. Second is colored poly bags. Sometimes your college canteen or somewhere, some other person will bring samosas or something in blue or green colored polythene. Never eat from there because they are full of cadmium and lead. Burning of plastic generates toxic emissions. And plastic bags with thickness less than 50 micron is officially banned in India, but sadly, unofficially, they are being used. Now, a lot of plastic is being used, and in India also, the government is trying to use plastic waste used for road construction. So this is also plastic waste becoming a resource. So we have to say no to plastic. Like here, I always have about 50 to 100 bags in my house, which I get made from old clothes from my own house or donated by friends and family. And this practice was started in Zakir Hussain College in 2000, so that no one uses plastic bag and uses cloth bag, which can be easily washed and reused. And here are the dustbins, which have been lined with bag made of old clothes. Resources from composting. You can become a green citizen by composting waste at home. I think I can advise, if I may, to Dr. Babita and other office bearer that you make a green citizen batch or something for students when they come and give you 4 or 5 reasons why they are how they are taking care of the waste. Now save money on chemical fertilizers. We buy a lot of chemical fertilizers for our garden, for our plants. So one suggestion is use banana peel dried and ground, rich source of potassium, eggshells. When I get about 20 eggshells are ready, I grind them and put them in my garden. One spoonful per pot is enough. Then tea leaves, which has many minerals, coffee beans. Citrus peels have been very successful for making bioenzyme, which is an organic detergent. We have been advised not to use chemical detergents. So we can save money by using all these methods. Now next is vermicomposting. It's a green technology for waste management. Vermicompost, also known as black gold, it is a priceless and profitable. Earthworms reduce organic waste by 40 to 60%. And the earthworm which we use is Icenia foetida, which is a non-burrowing earthworm. Non-burrowing means they don't go down in the soil, they remain on top. And the steps of vermicomposting is dig a pit and line it with dried leaves. Never let dry leaves go waste. Whenever you have dry leaves in your house or in your lane, just pick it up and keep it in a cloth bag and use it whenever required for vermicomposting. And then put dry cow dung, and then every day you can cover with vegetables and organic waste. The earthworms will do the job, and they have to be kept moist and well aerated. So this is a picture of vermicompost where the red colored earthworms you can see. So vermicompost improves the physical, chemical and biological properties of soil. In fact, one of the students of third year, they had taken this project in Zakir Hussain College of studying the different attributes, chemical studies and other studies of vermicompost. Now, another resource which we are wasting and not using is fresh water. Water scarcity is intensifying interstate and international conflicts for water. And it is predicted that the Third World War could be for water. So water is very precious to us and it is being wasted. Water lost as waste from landfill, from rooftops, and going to the groundwater and polluting it. Now, rainwater harvesting is very important technology, green technology. The augmentation of groundwater by rainwater harvesting is need of the hour. It was made popular by Center for Science and Environment, CSE. After that, now it has become a regular practice. According to Delhi Jal Board, a medium-sized house loses around 8 to 10 lakh liters of water as runoff every rainy season. And this year we had more rain, so that means we lost more of water, and that water doesn't go to ground. If it goes to ground and becomes groundwater, it will be saved. But it goes to nalas and rivers and becomes polluted on the way. Now, rainwater harvesting is a compulsory for new buildings. Otherwise, the buildings are not given water or sewerage connection. And those houses or official buildings which have installed rainwater harvesting system, they are given a rebate in their water bill. And those who have not got it, they are given a penalty. So this is a very upcoming technology which should be used. Here is a underground drum. The rainwater comes from the roof and comes to this pipe, and from this pipe it comes to this drum which is perforated, and it is filled with filtering material like sand, gravel, charcoal, and then this filtered clean water goes and mixes with the groundwater. Now, circular economy is becoming very popular these days. It is reducing waste and increasing value for people and the planet. Now, circular economy, how is it different from linear economy? Linear economy is when, you buy a Coca-Cola can, aluminum can, you drink it, you use it, and then you throw it in the waste. And then a rag picker comes, collects it, gives it to a recycler, and then it is recycled. So this is linear economy. Where circular economy is when you are making the can, you are using production methods which are environment friendly, and then you're doing responsible consumption. Instead of using Coca-Cola can, you might go for a bottle beverage. So that will be responsible consumption, and it creates a closed loop system. Like, see it here, this is a vending machine. I don't know if any of you have used vending machine. Vending machine is a machine where cold drinks and milk and other things and chocolates and all are kept. And you just press a button, put your coins, and the Coke or milk bottle will come out. So it is called a welding machine. But now a reverse welding machine has been made. This is the back side of the welding machine. So what happens, you have a bottle, you use it, and after using the empty bottle, you put in the back side of the vending machine. So the moment you, normally what happens, you go to Janpath, you have a Deep Paul's coffee, you pick it up and you throw in the dustbin. And then it will be taken for processing. That will be linear economy. But here, what is happening, the moment you have drunk the cold coffee, you have put the bottle back in the vending machine. So this is the responsibility taken by the production house, those who are producing the things. So in circular economy, it is not in the end you take care of the waste, you start taking care at every step. So loop recycling recovers more resources than linear recycling. Now, a sustainable lifestyle we can get with circular economy, and every nation, a circular economy helps a nation to have small ecological footprint. And what is an ecological footprint? Ecological footprint is the amount of land and water needed to produce the resources needed by an average person in a country, and to assimilate the waste generated thereby. So if you use less resources, you have small ecological footprint. If you generate less waste, you have small ecological footprint. Like when you go, like ecotourism is a new technique which has come up. So when we go for to a hill station, like you go to Nainital, and when you go for boating, you will have a packet of chips and you'll throw the packet in the lake only. So that's a very bad habit. And many hill stations are now becoming rubbish areas because they are full of waste. So in ecotourism also, we need to see that we generate very little waste when we are traveling. Now, rich countries have big ecological footprint. India has less ecological footprint compared to US. That means your footprint means the negative impact you have on the environment. In fact, in my book also, the cover page also shows the earth with a black footprint, because we are impacting the earth in a very negative way. So what are the solution? One is environment protection laws, extended producer responsibility. This is very important. Choosing safer technology and cleaner substitute, reduction of waste at source, and investment opportunity in waste management sector. People don't do anything for free, although we need to do for free because it is for our good. But if there's investment opportunity and many money can be made, then people are interested. So circular economy, this is a book written by Shalini Bhalla. She is a member working for UNDP in India. and many other books are becoming popular. And if it is there in your library, you should go and go through the case studies given here. So I would just like to conclude by saying the most important step in the direction of waste utilization is to change people's attitudes and habits. If the world continues to treat waste as a cheap resource that can be wasted, then not even the best policies and technologies can help to make it a resource for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a great pleasure to listen to your thoughts that have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. It was quite apparent how every single person at the event was engrossed by your talk. You made us aware to many new things today. Bin liners from old clothes is totally a new concept for all of us. A sustainable lifestyle with circular economy, vermicompost, carry bags made from old clothes, and yes, we will surely work towards green bats suggested by you and the innovative concepts that you have shared with us today. It would be our immense pleasure to have you to spread awareness around the subject in the near future. It's high time that we all should watch our actions very closely and ensure the minimal wastage. We, as individuals, should put in our efforts to work on waste management for the betterment of ourselves, our future generation, and the overall economy. Managing waste is in itself a great deed that one can do to directly contribute for the society and the Mother Earth. It is our responsibility to exercise waste management in an efficient way. Please spread the message and help us to save our environment. Let's aim at complete elimination or the perfect management of waste all around. Now, I would like to invite Strota Satpathy to conduct question and answer session. Over to you, Strota.
Thank you, Asma. Good morning, ma'am. And ma'am, thank you
Good
so much for a
morning.
very informative lecture. It was really enlightening for us. Uh, Moving ahead, would you like to answer a few of the questions that, ma'am, you have ignited the curiosity in our mind?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I would also like to request the attendees if they want to interact with ma'am directly, please raise your hand and we will make the necessary changes for that. Ma'am, the first question is my personal one. I wanted to know what kind of waste will be consider. We will consider the milk packets and the oil packets, ma'am, since they are dry from outside, but they are having liquid from inside.
I didn't understand the milk packets which are
And the
wet
oil
from
packets.
inside. So you dry
Yes.
them and reuse them as a liner somewhere for your drawers or somewhere you can use it. Or you can even shred them and use it for making something for the house. But
And then for the oil.
oil packets like Fortune oil, you mean, like those packets. Yeah. So now they are about, I think they are 50 micron. At least they are the permissible one, which can be recycled. So you can collect all those packets and in one go give it for recycling. So,
All
but
right.
they are much better than the less micron plastic liners, carry bags. So even the
Ma'am.
big showrooms, when they give you a carry bag, there's always very thick carry bag. You must have noticed. So they are above 50 micron, which is permissible by MOEF CC.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, the next question is, how are landfills harmful to the environment? Ain't they supposed to be the way of waste management?
What is harmful?
Landfills.
Landfill, yeah. Landfills, not the way we have the landfills, the pile of waste. In some parts of India, like in Indore, they have started, and abroad, what they do is when you have to make a landfill, you dig a pit, line it with clay or with some cement or with a thick plastic sheet, and then you put your waste over it. And you keep moving it slightly every 2-3 days and keep putting soil over it so that it doesn't become very moist. The idea of putting the sheet in the pit is not to allow the leachate to go to the groundwater and cause groundwater pollution. And then after the pile is very high, then with a tractor or any other system, they pressurize it. And then they cover it with cement or tiles, and even a parking lot or a garden can be made on that area. So that is very well organized, properly executed, not like the landfills we see in India or in Delhi at least. So landfills are okay. The idea is we have to reduce the waste going into landfills. One thing is that. Second is landfill should have a base, something at the base, not to allow the leachate to the groundwater. And third is we should convert the landfills into a parking lot or a garden or anything. So it will just remain there only and decompose in its own time.
All right, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, the next question is there any crisis or challenges in waste management?
Lots of crises, lots of challenges. It's full of challenges. The main challenge is habit. Like it took me so many years to change it in my own house. My staff would not, they would think I'm confused that I'm saving even an inch of cardboard or paper. So it is a mindset and a habit. Like I remember once in our college only, we were going for excursion. We gave fruity to students. They just threw the fruity Tetra Pak on the before going into the bus. So and we had made e-waste bins, and they would put other things in the e-waste bins. So habit is the most challenging. As I did said in my conclusion, the most challenging is we have to way we think. And you see abroad how they are organized they are. They have three colored bins in their houses, outside their houses. Everyone has it. They are rich people, they can afford it, but we can do in a simple way also. Like I attended a retreat in Rishikesh a few years back, and all foreigners had come, and every room had three dustbins for different things. And the way they used to manage, it became so easy when everyone is contributing. It looks very easy. So biggest challenge is mindset. And like I'm segregating dry and wet waste, but what is happening when the kura wala is coming, and is he putting all of them together in his basket, in his rickshaw, or is keeping them separate? So main challenge is mindset and way of thinking. Otherwise, government, NGOs, personal level, everyone is doing everything. But we have to change the way we think. Then only it can be solved.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, there was a question in the chat box in the queue to the same thing that you addressed. This the lifestyle that we have been living now. We do act for the social media or for the camera. But once the camera is off, we are back to our normal lazy self. So, what we can do to inspire others or change their mentality to do not to do such things?
No, we have to set an example to our people around us, like teachers for students and students. Even you can even go and tell your mothers at home, because many of the mothers are not doing what they should for dry and wet waste segregation. So we can teach each other, one another. So that's the way it will spread. The light is there. You have to just spread the light. So that is important. So बात करने से नहीं होगा, काम करने से होगा.
Ma'am, I hope we keep this in our mind.
And whenever keep a thin cloth bag in your purse, in your bag, whatever you carry, and whenever you buy fruit or vegetable or anything, don't accept any panni or even paper. Paper is also destroying forests. So just make a habit of carrying a small bag in your cloth bag, carry bag with you when you go out of the house. So as a mask is necessary, make this also a necessary thing when you step out of the house. So that is more
Ma'am, one of
important.
the participant also wants to know more about cloth bag liners. So please enlighten us
Um,
more about it.
I can sometimes send across to college one or two which I made. So there's a round circle in the base, and then a cylindrical thing, and then you just overlap over the bin. So like I wash after 8-10 days, and otherwise there's no need to put plastic liner in the bin every day. So even for the kitchen, the dry waste has the plastic liner. So this is also a good habit. In fact, I have told many uh, places which are running guest houses and all. So they have also adopted this technology. So you can, like you had a survey on waste management, you can have a survey on, are you doing this? What are you doing? Give points to people or guest houses or small hotels or shops or anything like that. Very few shops which give chart or this other things which they serve, very few of them have a dustbin next to them. नहीं तो सब कुछ नीचे जाता है. And people are doing charity when they do langar for Navratra or Ekadashi or anything. So what is happening? There's pile of garbage. Everyone eats and the paper plates are thrown on the thing. So it's a mindset. We have to first tackle that and then things will move forward.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, the next question is, ma'am, since the beginning of pandemic, ma'am, we have seen a trend in rise of minimalism. And ma'am, the question here is that what is your take on minimalism and what, according to you, are pitfalls of this lifestyle? Won't switching to it will increase waste unnecessarily?
Minimal, minimal making waste. How will it increase waste? I haven't
Ma'am,
understood.
actually, for going into this lifestyle, ma'am, people just throw whatever they don't think that is not necessary for them anymore, ma'am. Like they throw away most of their clothes, they throw away most of their possessions just to show that they
No,
don't
no, no.
need all of them.
No. That is not being a hypocrite. You don't throw it. You reuse it. No. Why are you throwing it? You reuse whatever you have. Like whatever I'm wearing today is a waste. This one I reused. So you can be innovative. Not a inch of cloth should move out of your house. You can use it in any ways, but there has to be creativity. And I'm sure your president and your vice president will teach you a lot of creativity in this year, so that you those two things don't go together. Minimum means good thing. It's a good practice, but you need to be creative for it. How to use it.
Okay, ma'am, I guess social media has changed our definition of minimalism, and I know I trust our teachers, they will teach us a
That's
lot
just
about
a
it.
way of talking, and that is more of a talk than anything else. I don't know. I'm not connected with social media much, so I don't know.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the last question is, what was the requirement of 5R initiative when we already have the 3R system?
No, the other two are restore and replenish. So we cannot keep going back to nature without restoring and replenishing, because we have harmed the nature so much. We have gone beyond its carrying capacity. So we have to restore. We have to restore the forest. We have to restore the water bodies. We have to restore the air. And we have to then replenish also. So all these two things are important because we have gone beyond the carrying capacity. We need 1.5 Earth to survive, whereas we have only one Earth. So that is why restore and replenish are important.
Okay, ma'am. I hope that that all the doubts that our participant have or had were now clear. Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Babita wants to ask something.
Yes, ma'am, thank you very much for such a wonderful session. I think every line of yours, is worth thinking on, pondering on, and creating a new lifestyle. And I'm sure we are going to practice most of it that you have said. We will try to follow all of it, but as much as is possible, we'll definitely start right away. My request right now is, since winter is approaching and you talked about organic detergent, and I think this is the time all of us can do that. What you said, from citrus peels, we can make organic detergent. If you could enlighten us a little more so that we can start this practice right away.
Like whatever peels, like musambi, lemon, any other citrus fruit, and the inside part also, you just cut them into small pieces, mix with water. I could show it, it is lying there in the other room. They take this big bottle and put water in this
So if
and
it's convenient, now please show it so that we can see it visually and we can start it.
just
If
a
it's
second, I'll have to go for a moment to get it. I have to go for a moment.
all right. I think this is one thing we all can start, since we are all saying that let's start moving towards zero waste. As Ritika had indicated in her slide, one straw per head. And Miriam is saying that how does it matter, one straw? So you can understand one straw can make a huge difference. Likewise, citrus peels that we are going to generate, bundles of them. I think making organic waste, organic detergent out of it, be a wonderful idea again towards this direction of moving towards zero waste. This we can start right away, all of us. Do share your pictures once you start working towards making organic detergent, so that there is a follow-up and others also feel inspired. I think this is going to be a simple way of, making organic detergent. The best thing about her is what all she spoke, she's practicing all that. And we have also imbibed quite a lot, like cloth bags, all of us use in our department, all of us. And segregation of waste, all of us do. And we have to teach now this to our students, and you have to spread the word so much, as much as we can. Oh, something happened. She's leaving. Students, you have to please bear with us. I just thought if you see it visually, then it will be more impactful, so that you can take a plunge into it and see that you could contribute today onwards. I had started with organic detergent, but it started stinking, and it didn't come up to the level where it should have been. But some changes, my friends are doing it and they are using it. So it is something that we can do. Shruta has raised her hand.
Ma'am, meanwhile we have this time, I would also like to share a good practice that we do in our state, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, remember there's a lot of cement bags and then semi-plastic rice bags that are in the market now.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, in our state, we make reusable carry bags from that, ma'am. So we can use it for marketing or just keeping another things that we want. So in this way, we can reuse those bags.
Oh, yes. Every small effort in this direction is going to be a big change.
I want to show something.
Sorry?
Ma'am, I want to show something.
Okay, you can. Please.
You will have to make changes in the
Okay.
settings, Dr. Deepika.
Nakul, in the meantime, from first year wants to show something. I'm making the changes, ma'am.
Nakul, it's not visible.
Ma'am, I use this old fridge for growing plants.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, okay.
Very good. I'm sure you all are already aware of this and you're doing it. That's so good.
The outer metal body and this inner I use for gardening
This calls
plants.
for clap.
And I use these bags for growing plants.
How wonderful.
This is that slope.
Yes. Yes. Oh, so you will start this practice in the college. We'll look forward to this contribution from our first years. Wonderful, wonderful.
Ma'am, I have used these cans for growing plants.
Yeah, this our Nature and Environment Society has already started in the college. We'll take it on further.
Can you please show it again? That can one.
I have cut it down and then
Great.
It looks really so good. Wonderful.
and ma'am, these all from bottles.
How nice. How nice.
ठीक था ये और ये किसी तरह से इसमें कोई छेद हो गया था तो फिर मैंने इसको इसमें यूज कर लिया.
Wonderful. So this is very inspiring when it comes from a student, and you see we are trying to share our experiences and inspire you, but you are already so inspired. So there's a lot to learn from you. Very happy. Thank you, Nakul. There's a message from Dr. Khosla that there is internet lag in her at her home, and she's trying to join back, but she may not be able to join. However, we have waited for her, and I think we'll proceed with the program. It has already taken a long for us to be here in this inaugural lecture, and we proceed. Asna, please proceed.
Now I would like to invite BG Matthew to please present a vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I, BG Matthew, on behalf of the Botanical Society of Zakir Hussain Delhi College, Nargis, takes this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. It is my pleasure to thank each and every person who has helped in organizing and shaping this event. First and foremost, I take this opportunity to express my deep sense of appreciation for our principal ma'am, Professor Sangeeta Pandita, for giving us the opportunity to organize this event. Special thanks to our speaker, Dr. Rita Khosla, for her wonderful talk on the topic of waste is wealth. The talk was really inspiring, and I'm sure many of us will be encouraged to better manage our waste. And we have learned many new techniques, and especially the detergent, which we unfortunately were not able to see, will be a great place to start. I also extend my thanks to the faculty members of the Department of Botany, Zakir Hussain Delhi College, for gracing us with their presence. Gratitude to Dr. Babita C. Kolla, President of Nargis, and Vice President Dr. Deepika Sharma for guiding the organizing team. I thank the organizing team members Shrota, Mritika, Preeti, Asrar, and Asna for making this event possible. Finally, I thank all audience for patiently listening and for making this event meaningful. I hope we at Nargis continue to make a difference, big or small, with the shared efforts of all for the Mother Earth. Our wish is to keep working in the direction that will make world a better place for everyone to live. I would like to conclude by quoting these famous words from Swami Vivekananda: arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is achieved. Wishing you all a pleasant and safe times ahead. Thank you. Over to you, Asna.
Thank you so much, VG Matthew. A big thank you to each one of you for showing your interest. Fueling the ignited minds was the aim behind the event that we hoped has been achieved through your valuable presence. Now, I request everyone to please turn on your cameras so that we can have some pictures.
Ma'am, Khosa ma'am has joined back.
Oh, wonderful. Ma'am, can we have your camera on?
I have my camera is on. Can you see me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay, I cannot see
This
that.
is the detergent. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am, we can see, ma'am.
Yes.
So it has taken about 1.5 months to make it. It was full of peas, of Musambi. So
Can
the
you?
guy,
I can't see.
can you
Is it visible? Students, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Chalo. Thank you, Babita, and thank you everyone, Deepika, Itoal, and all the best.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So wonderful to interact with you.
Okay.
Looking forward to more interaction with you in offline mode as well, ma'am.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, bye. Thanks once again.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today.
All right. So we've formally closed this event.